It was past midnight when Jake left his friend's house, the cold November air biting at his skin. The drive home was along 1 mile of empty roads, no street lights, and nothing but dense forest on either side. His old sedan rattled slightly as he turned onto the deserted highway. He cranked up the radio to fill the silence, but static crackled through the speakers. Sighing, he switched it off. The only sounds now were the hum of his tires and the occasional rustling of trees in the wind. 15 minutes into the drive, Jake saw something up ahead, a lone figure standing on the side of the road. A woman. She was barefoot, wearing a long, white dress that fluttered in the breeze. Her dark hair hung in front of her face, obscuring her features. Jake's heart thudded. Who the hell would be out here at this hour, he muttered. As he got closer, he slowed down. The woman lifted her head slightly, revealing hollow, sunken eyes. A chill crawled down his spine. He pressed his foot on the gas and sped past her. He checked the rear-view mirror. She was gone. His pulse raced. Had she just disappeared? No, his mind had to be playing tricks on him. Shaking his head, he focused on the road. Minutes later, the car's temperature dropped sharply. His breath turned to mist in front of him. A foul odor filled the car, something rotten, like decaying flesh. Then he saw her again. She was in the middle of the road. Jake slammed on the brakes, tires screeching against the asphalt. He barely stopped in time. The woman stood motionless, staring at him with those soulless eyes. His hands trembled as he reached for the gear shift, intending to reverse, but before he could move, she vanished. His body froze. A heavy silence filled the car. Then, a whisper. Right behind him. "Let me in." Cold fingers brushed the back of his neck. Jake screamed, twisting around. Nothing was there. He threw the car into gear and sped off, his heart pounding so hard it hurt. The road stretched on, endless and empty. He kept checking his mirrors, but the woman was nowhere in sight. Maybe he had imagined it. Maybe he was just exhausted. A few miles ahead, he spotted a gas station. Relieved, he pulled in, his shaking hands gripping the wheel. The station was dimly lit, but at least it was a sign of life. An old man sat behind the counter inside. Jake hurried in, his voice unsteady. "Sir, did you see a woman out there on the road?" The old man's face paled. He put down his newspaper slowly. "You saw her?" Jake nodded, still trying to catch his breath. She was standing in the road. Then she disappeared. And I think she was in my car. The old man exhaled sharply and looked Jake straight in the eyes. "Son, you need to leave. Now." Why?" The old man leaned in, his voice dropping to a whisper. "That woman, she's been dead for 20 years. Jake's blood ran cold. She died on this road. A driver hit her and never stopped. They say her spirit lingers, waiting for a ride home." The old man's hands trembled. "If you see her once, you're lucky. If you see her twice, she's chosen you." Jake swallowed hard. "What happens if she chooses me?" The old man's expression darkened. "No one knows. Because no one ever makes it home. The door behind Jake creaked open. A rush of cold air swept in. A voice whispered from the doorway. "I found you." Jake turned slowly. The woman stood there, her hollow eyes locked on his. The lights flickered. Then everything went dark.